Hello everyone, welcome to the channel and welcome to the farm. We've got a very large maple tree to drop today to get this thing on the ground. It has been dying slowly over the past year or two. If you stick around later in the video, I'll show you a few things that I find whenever I am cutting up some of the upper limbs that kind of show you some evidence of the decay of the tree and the decline of the tree. As you can see here, it is generally leaning in the correct direction that I want to fell the tree, and I've got a nice wide open area to do it. But there is one major limb that is leaning back over that building, that structure that is behind it. So I'm going to be a little bit cautious. I do have some dead limbs overhead in the tree, so we have hooked up some rope and a cable with on a winch to my truck up at the upper end there, and we're going to make sure that we get this thing down safely and in the correct spot. So stick around and hope to see you at the end. As you can see from this photograph, this is a very large maple tree. Later, after I get it down on the ground, I measure it. It's about 35 inches at the widest point here. I really don't know how tall it is. This is an ash tree, and it is also a very large tree, and this maple dwarfs it. And I'm guessing that this ash is every bit of 60 foot. So this maple is every bit of 90 foot plus. It's a very large tree. And large trees can be dangerous, especially with, if you can see all these dead limbs. There's some dead limbs. One of these is, I find out it is dead. It is kind of leaning back this direction. I got a little bit of wind help. It's coming from the west, this direction. This is south, this is north. So this is the setup that I've got. I got up into the tree. This was probably close to 30 foot where I hooked this strap into the tree. So if that kind of shows you about where we're at from here to here, 30, another one to be about 60, and then probably about 90 foot. And then my winch cable hooked to right there. I've got rope. This is 5/8 rope, high tensile rope. All right, enough talking. Let's get this thing down. We'll speed this up here in just a second, but just to explain what I'm doing, first of all, I'm taking my time. I have taken a level and some marking, orange marking paint. I've worked my way all the way around the tree with a perfectly level line, just as guidance, a reference line to kind of choose where I'm putting my chain into the tree. I'm working on my front notch here. What I did before I started talking was I marked the left side and the right side of my limits of my notch, and then I work on my level cut into my notch, and then I'll work into my diagonal cut on my front, all using that orange marking line as a reference. I think I hit something metal and dulled my chain. It won't cut.
hinge worked good. I have to measure this. There's definitely something metal in there at one point. And right there, I felt like I got into something on the wedge, but I think it was just that saw doesn't like to cut at an angle, that chain that's on there. Boom goes the dynamite. Took my time. I leveled the line with some marking paint. That actually helped a lot. Nice flat all the way across, front to back. Not sure if you can see that or not, but it's about 35 inches at its widest point, and probably going to put you in the shadow. 9 foot 3 inches in circumference. After I started cutting this thing up, I realized I knew it was dying, and that's one of the main reasons why I needed to cut this down. But when I started cutting this thing up, the top end of this tree, the majority of it, I'd say at least 50% of these limbs were dead, dying, old, rotten. One of the limbs sticking out that cracked further up was completely hollow. It's a matter of time on that one. And then one of these limbs over here, which I guarantee you, this one here has got a rotten spot on it. This one here has got some rotten spots on it. This smaller limb over here on the ground, if I can get there, it's hollow all the way up. Probably going to run into that, quite a bit of it. Sorry about the wind. So I just cut this section off here and I'll show you a reason why this tree wasn't much longer. So this actually here, from here down, is in pretty good shape, but from here up is really bad. And that was the main trunk of the tree. And we are probably 8, 10, 18 foot up that main trunk, and it's that rotten. I was going to mill this, but this wood on this side is in pretty good shape, but this wood on this side, don't know that it's worth milling. I'm trying to decide what I want to do with some of these longer pieces. I might try to mill them where they lay, cut it just above the crotch, mill this, maybe mill one of those logs right there where they lay. It might have broke. Maple's not very strong. The way that it landed, and there's kind of a little bit of a rise here, it might have cracked that log right there, so that log right there might not be worth anything. I tried to clean this up a little bit just to look at rings to kind of guess how old it is. With maples, the ring count is very hard to do because of the way the grain is. They're very subtle, they don't stick out. You can see a few, and I might be able to kind of try to count them, but I don't think I'm going to have very much luck. They're not very distinct. But like I was showing you there, it's about 35 inches in the longest width, 32, 33 average, and it was like a little over 9 foot in circumference. So we're going to continue to work, trying to get this thing cleaned up. So I got the majority of the tree cleaned up, or cut up. I got some scrag block, which is basically pallet lumber. There's a mill up the road that buys 42-inch pieces for pallets. And I've got some firewood. I've got a log here that I can mill. I've got a couple logs here I can mill. But now I just need to figure out, decide, sorry about the wind, decide how I want to cut the rest of this log up. So from the Y down here, if I cut just above the crotch up to about this junction here, that would give me about 10 foot that I can mill and leave me with just shy of 8 foot that I can mill. Just trying to get some lumber out of it. This is good maple. Get something out of it. So basically that's kind of what's left. There's a crotch there, Y, pretty major log here, and a major log here. So I might, I don't know, not sure. If I cut it here, then that will give me about 7 foot maybe to the butt end down there that I can mill. But there's probably going to be some wire and stuff down here in this bottom part, which I'm kind of hesitant. There's like a chunk of cable from like a TV satellite. There used to be a house sitting right here. And then the way that this Y is turned, I would need to cut it right here and turn it to mill that. Maybe cut this off. I don't know. Have to figure out what I want to do with this, but that'll be in another video. So if you stuck out to the end, I appreciate it. And next one, we'll try to get this thing milled up, or start getting it milled up. There's a lot of work left to do here. We'll pick up this pile. But if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Appreciate that. Give it a like. Leave a comment if you would. And share the video, and I'll see you on the next one. Have a good one, guys. Later.